Hi friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will learn how to make a digital clock app, clock app in Angular. In Angular, how to make a digital clock app in a Angular, right? Yes. For that, I am creating one component. Creating a component, you can run a command ng gc component clock. I'm giving a clock. If you run this command, it create one component for you in src folder. In src folder, it create one component called clock, right? In this one, you can find a .ts file, .html file, .cs file, .spec.ts file, right? I just to go to the clock component.ts file. What I'm doing, I need to display the digital clock app, digital clock app in Angular. For that, I'm just taking one variable. That variable called current time colon. I'm storing a data. Which type of data I'm storing? String. Very good. I need to display this value. Go to your component.html file. You can use mustache. Then you can add your variable name, that is current time. Very good. For displaying a time, I'm just creating one method. That method is update time colon. This method written, okay, this method written non-return type. That's why I'm using a void. For example, this method written some string. You need to add a string here. This method return number. You have to add a number here. This method returning non-return type. That's why I'm using a void here. In this method, this dot, if you want to access a variable within the block, you need to use this keyword. This dot current time equal to new date dot to locally time string. I want to display only time only. I want to display only time. That's why I'm doing new date dot to locally time string. It display only the time. Right. After that, I am using ng on init. ng on init. This one called after component. Okay, after component fully initialized. Okay, after component fully initialized, then which method is called ng on init. This ng on init available in a on init interface. This on init interface available at the rate Angular/core. On init interface available where? At the rate Angular/core. This ng on init available where? In your interface on init. Let's use on init. Go to the component.ts file, comma. I'm importing on init interface. If you want to use interface in your class, then you can use one keyword called implements. Implements on init. Now I need to implement which method? ng on init. When this ng on init load after completing initialize of your component, ng on init colon void non-return type. Very good. Here I am calling a method this dot. We create a method here, update time, right? Yes, you need to call here dot update time. Save it, right? Yes. My application running on port number what? 4200, right? To run your Angular application, go to your project, run command ng server. When you run a command ng server, it run application on one port number, that is 4200, http://localhost:4200. That is the default port number. Right. Now I just open a browser. See, it displaying a time, right? But my requirement is I want to display a digital clock, right? By default, whenever users see the time, it should be 19, 20, 21, 22, like that, I mean, right? Yes. There is a one method called, what set interval. Set interval. Using this function, okay, this function execute a function after fixed amount of time. If you are using a set interval function, this function execute after fixed amount of time, and it execute repeatedly. For example, every second, if you want to execute, you can add 1 second. This set interval execute every second, right? Yes. 1000 millisecond equal to 1 second. 1000 millisecond equal to 1 second, right? The syntax should be set interval function. Okay, I'm using a function, arrow function here. Okay, whatever the function you are mentioning, you can mention the function. After particular time, which function you want to execute, after particular time, which function you want to execute, you can mention the function here, comma. You can mention the time. Okay, I want to execute this function. After 1 second. It accept only millisecond. 1 second equal to how many milliseconds? 1000 millisecond. You can add it 1000 millisecond. Like that, you can use it set interval function. This function execute after fixed amount of time, and it repeatedly, right? Let's use this function. Just to go to the ng on in it. Okay, for repeating, I'm taking, okay, one variable, that is private timer colon any. I want to store any data type, where in a timer. This dot, if you want to access this variable within the block, you can use it this timer equal to set interval. I'm calling a function. Which function? Set interval. Brackets, I'm using a arrow function. I need to call this dot update time method. Update time method, comma. After how many second? 1 second. This set interval accept millisecond. 1 second equal to 1000 millisecond. 1 second equal to 1000 millisecond. You can add 1000. Save it. Now you can go to the browser. See, you can just observe this value. Every second it should be displaying a value. Why? Every second we set interval. This set interval repeat this function when this one section completed. One section completed. 1 second, it's a completed. Getting my point or confusing? Right. Very good. Now I want to make some CSS for this. What? For this digital time. Right click. Okay. I'm just adding this current time into one div tag. Div tag. Within the div tag, I am using a current time. Save it. Now you can go to the browser. Right click, inspect, right click, inspect, go to the div tag. I'm adding some CSS. First, I'm adding a margin hyphen top 20%. You should go below. Very good. Now I want to add a color. Font color should be red. The font color is displaying which color? A red color. I want to make a background color. Background color black. I want to make a padding 20 pixel. I want to go to the padding with a 20 pixel. You see this 20 pixel. After that, I want to make a border radius. Corner should be 5 pixel. If you see this corner, I'm making a border radius 5 pixel. Next, I'm using a width fit content. The content should be fit. Margin left. Margin left. I want to make as a auto. Margin right. I want to make as a auto. Or the border radius, if you want to increase, you can increase that one. I'm increasing up to 10. If you want to reduce a border radius, you can go to the border radius, you can reduce. I want to reduce a padding. Very good. You can reduce like this. Getting right. I just copy this one. I'm creating one class. Where you need to create? Go to the component.css. I'm creating one class dot clock container. Okay. I'm adding this CSS into that class. My class name is clock container. I need to apply this class where? To the div tag. Go to the div tag. You can put a class here equal to double quotes clock container. Clock container. Now I just to go to the browser. You can refresh the browser. See here. What we done? We complete displaying digital clock in Angular application. If you have any doubt, you can mention in the comment. Okay. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video.